Hi, folks. Today, Miss Cruz is going to share information about text features, which is a really important part of information writing, because it helps our readers understand our writing even better and helps our work be more interesting to our readers. And so she's going to talk about the different types of text features. We've looked at some of the ones in this book. That you can put into your own work. And I want to remind you that in your writing journals, you have a sheet that has all different types of text features. And I'm also going to include in this assignment, there'll be an image in the assignment that shows the text features that Miss Cruz is going to share with us. All right, here we go.
Hello, information writers. Welcome back. So before we get started, I thought it might be interesting for us to think for just a little bit about what's the first thing that pops into your mind when you think about informational writing. That's something? Did you say vocabulary? Did you say table of contents? Did you say interesting facts? Or did you say text features? If you said text features, you were probably thinking about those really beautiful, strong visual images that we see in so much of the informational writing that we read. And today, I want to teach you that those don't just happen by accident. Whoops, there's some text features, and they're not just sort of like slapped in whenever. No, today I want to teach you that informational writers think, will this text feature help my readers? And they only include the ones that they think will help the reader understand what their text is mainly about. And by stopping and thinking, what is this mainly about, that helps information writers choose what text features to include or to not include. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And so I thought it would help us to think a bit about some common text features. These are ones that you might have seen in your own nonfiction reading, or maybe the books that your teacher has been reading to you or has read to you in the past. So let's take a look. A friend of mine made this chart for her students, and actually your teacher might have been that friend, or maybe your teacher shared something similar with you. But these are some common text features that you probably remember from your own reading, or maybe even your own writing. So drawings and photographs are often included in informational text in order to allow the reader to really picture the subjects the writer is talking about. Captions, that's those lines that go underneath those pictures or drawings, and they explain what those text features are. Diagrams. Diagrams are illustrations or photographs that include labels and words to help explain a particular concept, as well as to help readers understand vocabulary. Remember I had that diagram of cockroach? Definition boxes are these little boxes along the side of a page that explain different vocabulary words. Maps, which you probably remember from social studies, if not just for informational writing, are there. They show a place, and they help the reader to understand the geography, the place of a topic. Timelines, so those usually show dates or sometimes time, and they show the order of events, or another way to say that is sequence of events. And finally, glossaries. And glossaries are usually in the back of a book, although sometimes they can be in other places. And they include key vocabulary words that were used in the text. I want you to take a look at that and think about, have you seen those before? Which ones have you noticed or thought about? Maybe you even tried in your own writing. So I thought what would be interesting for us to do is to think about these text features and to maybe help another third grader out to think about how he could be using text features in his writing. So I thought we could look at a third grader I know. His name is Jeremy, and he was working on a book, Turtles and Fish. And so why don't we take a look at turtles and fish, thinking about what we know about text features, and think to ourselves, what kinds of text features could maybe help Jeremy's readers? What might we suggest or show him as options? Let's take a look. So here's Jeremy's piece. I'm going to read it to you, and I want you to be thinking about those text features. Turtles and fish are both sea creatures. Turtles and fish can be pets, or they could be in the ocean. Turtles and fish both could swim. Both turtles and fish use different body parts to swim. Turtles use their flippers to swim, and a fish uses its fins to swim. Turtles and fish are both reptiles. Turtles and fish don't die at the same time. Now, how are they both reptiles? No, doesn't matter. I'm thinking about text features right now. That's another note I can do later. A turtle can live for about more than 2,000 years. And turtles was in the time of dinosaurs. Fish can only live 2 months or less. Turtles have different body parts than a fish. Turtles and fish sometimes don't do the same thing. House turtles that are small can weigh more than a fish. Turtles have a shell to protect them. Or fish can just be eaten. All right. So I'm thinking about what Jeremy's doing. And yes, there's a factor too that I might want to talk to him about in more depth. But just thinking about helping him with his text features, I want to think about what's he doing here. And mostly what he's doing here is he's comparing turtles and fish. So I was thinking maybe he could make a little chart. How are turtles and fish the same and different? And then I'm going to make boxes, turtles, fish, and then he mentions different things, like they're both sea creatures. Pets can swim, and then only one uses fins, one uses flippers, one lives a short time, and one lives a long time, and one has hard shells. All right, so I made my chart, and I think that this might be a chart that I would recommend to Jeremy. See what I'm doing? So I took everything that he wrote and I thought, you know what he's doing? He's comparing, but it might be nice to sort of break it down into categories and to think of what things apply to both turtles and fish and what only apply to one or the other. And I think that would help the reader really visualize how much turtles and fish have in common, but in some really big ways, they're really, really different. All right, informational writers. So you're about to head off, and I know a lot of you are going to want to focus on your text features, and that is great because there's a lot of work to do there. And if you are, you have a whole lot of different kinds of text features that you could use. You can go back and you can refer to that chart that we discussed or look at mentor text to get ideas of possible text features. And you'll want to keep in your mind, like, what are the main points that I'm trying to show and how can a text feature possibly help me to do that work? Now, some of you are not going to be working on text features. You might have other revision work to do, and that is good too. The big heavy work that you want to do as a writer today is to look and see what are the ways that you can make your piece as strong as it can possibly be. All right, information writers, I know you're going to do a great job, so I won't hold you any longer. Off you go.
All right. I don't know how to get my camera back. So I'm just going to tell you that what I would like you to do is exactly what Ms. Cruz said. Spend some time writing. You might be considering adding some text features. You might be working on other things. But I want you to spend another 15, 20 minutes working on your writing. And I'm looking forward to seeing these amazing pieces of work that you're doing. All right. Bye-bye.